Good morning, Bitcoin miners. How is everyone doing today? I'm super excited to tell you guys about what we've got going on here. I want to welcome you to the Build a Mind podcast. I'm your host, Trevor. So, today we are going to be shifting gears a little bit and talking about the industrial side of Bitcoin mining. I know a lot of you, or a lot of what I've focused on over the past few months, has been small time pleb mining in your garage or basement, but this will be on a whole another level. This is going to be a little bit different. So, whether you're a pleb wanting to scale up or just curious about what it would take to build a large mining farm, you've come to the right place. In today's RIP, we will be discussing the possibilities and the pitfalls of industrial mining. But we will also tell you how to get started with our expert level help. So stick around to the end for an invitation to join our exclusive in-person bootcamp and our ongoing Bitcoin mining mentorship program. So the first place I want to start is why you might want to take your operation from pleb scale, so like in your garage, in your basement, to an industrial level operation. Small setups are great. They're very versatile. They can be integrated into heat reuse applications. And we've talked a lot about it. They provide great starting point for the unofficiated Bitcoiner. But small home setups do come with drawbacks. The first of which is usually power costs. And as a home miner, you don't have the ability to negotiate prices for your operation, which limits you to mining at specific times where there's low demand. And the second problem many home miners face is the noise. Something I've mentioned many times on this podcast before is the first time I brought a home or an S9 home, my wife immediately was like, get that loud thing off my countertop. So, the sound of these miners is enough to drive anyone crazy, let alone our significant others. So having them in your house might be a problem. If it's in the basement, in the shed, maybe it's not such a big deal. But while there are several ways to mitigate the noise, each option comes with its own set of drawbacks. One of the other big issues that home miners face is a limitation on the available space and the amount of amperage you have access to. With industrial mining, we can optimize all of this to improve efficiency, increase profits, and industrial miners don't generally have to worry about the noise levels. So you can negotiate much cheaper power costs, and the amount of space is pretty much abundant. You're basically only limited by the size of your transformer and how much power you can get access to. So not to mention, as a business, you can deduct all your operating expenses. And as an industrial miner, you have the ability to stack a whole lot more Bitcoin. Imagine having a full megawatt, which is 1,000 kilowatts versus about only 30 kilowatts, which is about 10 miners. I know it seems a little bit overwhelming to think about industrial mining at first. How do I get into this? How do I build a good foundation and start into the world of industrial mining? It's completely understandable. I was a bit overwhelmed when I jumped into this world, but it's completely achievable with the right guidance, and the right support, the right people, kind of holding your hand the entire way. You can definitely build an industrial mining farm, and that's exactly what we offer here at Bitcoin Mining World. So when it comes to building industrial size mining operations, there are two main business models you need to consider and understand before you jump in. Because if you don't understand them and you haven't kind of thought about it, you can really put yourself in a bind. So the first one is self-mining and the second one is co-location hosting. I'm going to break it down real quick. Self-mining means that you buy the land, acquire the infrastructure, and buy the miners. You manage everything and pay all the expenses, and you also reap all the rewards. But you also carry all the risk. So you'll have to pay for all the capital expenses and operational expenses, but this means that you will get all the profits, and there can be quite a lot of profit as long as you operate efficiently. Co-location hosting is a little bit different, is where you provide the infrastructure and space for others to run their miners. In return for providing the infrastructure and maintaining the machines, you get a set amount of money each month. And as the owner and operator of a co-location hosting business, you only carry a portion of the risk and don't get access to the Bitcoin on the other end. But you get paid every month in fiat, which allows you to pay your expenses without transferring Bitcoin into fiat. So this is something that a lot of people like the idea of, because you don't have to take the risk of whether or not Bitcoin is going up or Bitcoin's going down, what the hash price is trading at. You're basically just renting out the space for the hardware to be filled and to be powered on, and you're also maintaining that hardware. This model allows you to get into Bitcoin mining without having to purchase all the hardware. And you can also combine the two models into a hybrid model, which many of our students have found to be highly effective. So in our Build a Mine bootcamp, we dive further into each of these models and help you figure out exactly which one will work best for you. Now, there are some key considerations when building an industrial scale mine. One of the most important is site selection. You need to consider power availability and cost, as well as the physical location of your site. It is very important that you don't rush into purchasing land or equipment before you understand the power rates and the possible restrictions within that jurisdiction. In some cases, it might be better to find a site that offers cheaper electricity and has more lenient regulations. Not everybody is, up to snuff on what Bitcoin is doing and how it's providing for the community and for the network at large. So a lot of times, local authorities and local governments will put a kibosh or a restriction on you as a Bitcoin miner. So it's definitely important that before you just jump into buying a site, because you have access to this much power or this much land, it's very important that you understand those kind of outside circumstances. A great example of this story kind of comes from one of our previous students, Joe, a personal friend of mine. Initially, he thought he found a great site with a super low power rate, but later he learned that there were hidden fees that would have doubled his operational expenses. Joe ended up saving thousands, and I'm not kidding. He literally saved like a couple $100,000 just by attending our boot camp and learning how to access these costs and run the numbers himself. So you as an individual can save so much money just by knowing how not to make mistakes, which again is exactly what we at Bitcoin Mining World aim to do. We want to help you grow. We want to build your business as much as you do. We want to make sure that the next generation of Bitcoin miners and Bitcoiners alike have the resources that they need in order to build a profitable and sustainable business. So I want to tell you a little bit more about Joe. He recently shared a video on X, which you'll be able to find that video in the description of this podcast. But he recently just shared his project that he's been working on with Abundant Minds in Cascade Locks, which is a couple hours away from me, so it's near and dear to my heart. Joe is a testament to what can be accomplished with a little heart and a lot of guidance. Joe started out like many of us with a couple rigs in his basement or in his garage. He had originally thought that building an industrial scale mine was out of his reach. But after learning about co-location hosting from our boot camp, he has been able to scale up to a 10 megawatt mining operation with Abundant Mines. He's now working with partners in Texas, managing multiple sites remotely. And the best part is he didn't do it alone. He didn't have to go through this journey by himself. Our Mastermind Club, which is our monthly mentorship program, played a huge role in connecting him with the right partners and resources. So if you're wondering whether you could do the same, I implore you to stick around. This video is going to be very short, but I'm going to walk you guys through how you can get involved through our bootcamp on our mentorship program here in a bit. So what is the best way for you to get started with industrial scale mining? It's pretty easy. So our Build a Mine bootcamp comes in to help provide you, as I said before, with the resources and the connections as well. There's always this idea that somebody else knows more than you. Well, wouldn't it be better to just go and speak with that person who understands how something works a little bit better than you do? So our Build a Mine bootcamp comes in, fills this role really easy, really well. So over 3 intensive days, we walk you through everything you need to know, from power, infrastructure, and equipment management to financing your operation. We also, and this is my favorite part about the Build a Mine bootcamp, guys, we also visit real world mining farms and get to see the operations firsthand. This isn't just a theory. You'll be out in the field learning from experts who are doing this at scale. We visit hydro mines, we visit immersion mines, we visit air-cooled mines. Just at our mining conference recently, we did a boot camp, and And the last day of the conference, we did a mining tour of Just for Crypto's 25 megawatt mining operation. And they've got air cooled miners and hydro or immersion miners as well. So you were able to see kind of like how that operation works and really get a feel for what it means to be an industrial scale miner. The best part is about the Build a Mine Bootcamp, you will leave with a solid action plan and connections that can help you fund and build your mine. It's an amazing opportunity to get hands-on experience and network with others who are in the space. Our bootcamp is just the beginning. No doubt you've heard me talk about it on this show many times before. It's one of our ad reads that we show every single video. But for those of you who want ongoing support, and maybe you can't, you know, for foot the bill of the Build a Mine boot camp, you can't really go fly out to Milwaukee or Wisconsin or wherever else we are doing them at the time. Well, you can join our Mastermind Club. It's a monthly mentorship program, and this is where you'll really dive deep into the industry, stay updated with latest trends, and get direct access to experts and communities of like-minded miners. When I say that joining the mastermind community helped me out to learn how Bitcoin mining works and understand the intricacies of the network and the protocol and the technology, I'm not exaggerating. Like I had no basis of understanding of Bitcoin mining until I joined the Mastermind Club and really got a deeper understanding of how that works. So, in addition to weekly group calls, we host monthly deep dives, webinars on specific technical topics, and we're actually moving these to 2 deep dives a month. So, those will be bi-weekly moving forward. But at the end of the day, you'll have all the resources you need to keep scaling up and do it in the best ways that and do it in the way that is sustainable and efficient and effective so that you can remain profitable at the end of the day, which is the most important thing as a Bitcoin miner, is to stay profitable and build in a sustainable, efficient way that, we can compete with things like the halving and other miners. So it's just a really good resource to have. These bi-weekly deep dives are super, super resource intense. We have people come on and tell us all kinds of things. Like we have a backlog of videos, and we've had TaxBit come on. We have a couple coming up here pretty soon that'll be focused around gaining capital, building an insurance strategy. Like all these things play a huge role in Bitcoin mining, and until you have the connections and you understand the dynamics at play, you're really not going to know what you need to do and how you need to build it. Any Bitcoin miner who's been mining on an industrial scale will tell you that you need to have a tax strategy. You need to have an insurance plan. You need to know where you're going to be able to get capital, and whether that's, capital from a capital funder or a partner. Like you want to be able to have these resources. And that's again where the Build a Mine Bootcamp and the Mastermind Club play a huge role. So whether you're just getting started or already have a few miners running, Mastermind Club will help you grow in a sustainable manner and maximize your profits for the long haul. You might be asking, what is one of the biggest questions we get? And that's about financing. I kind of said it before, where do you get capital? Where do you find funding? How do you fund a large scale mining operation if you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars up front? Well, you don't have to go at it alone. We have helped many of our students find partners and alternative funding options. Remember, there's financial capital, but there's also human capital. Many people have money but don't know where to start with mining, and others have the technical chops but lack the funding. Our community helps bring these two people together so that they can work in conjunction with each other and build a sustainable business. In fact, this is exactly how Joe found the capital to fund his operation. And now he's running a successful mining farm without putting all the money in himself. It's been great to watch Joe grow over time in the last year that I've been a part of the Mastermind Club. Joe was here before me. He attended the boot camp last year, and watching him go from working in a fiat job that took way too much of his time. He enjoyed it, but it took way too much of his time and he took him away from his family. Watching him be able to quit his job and start working in Bitcoin, build a Bitcoin mine that is sustainable and, working with the local government and the authorities in his hometown, or not in his hometown, but in the town of Cascade Locks, has been an incredible adventure just to watch from the outside looking in. It's been absolutely amazing. And anyone can do it, really. Anyone with, the right mindset and the drive and the initiative can make that happen. So if you guys are ready to take your mining operation to the next level, I implore you guys to head over to our website, bitcoinminingworld.com, and sign up for our next Build a Mine Bootcamp. I'm not sure when the next one is going to be. We're still working on the details, on the plans. It could be a 1-day course. It could be a 3-day course. But if you sign up for that, we'll be able to inform you on when the next one will be. A lot of times we do these in conjunction with, or as a satellite event with other conferences. So we did one at our Bitcoin mining conference here at Bitcoin Mining World, but we have plans to do them as a satellite event for other conferences. So the Build a Mine Bootcamp will be coming to you, an area near you. And for ongoing support, don't forget to join the Mastermind Club, which is completely free, and you'll be a part of a thriving community. And we at Bitcoin Mining World will be there to help you every step of the way. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. I can't wait to see you guys at the boot camp or on one of our group calls. And until next time, keep stacking those sats, building your future in the Bitcoin mining world. And don't forget to like and share this video as well as the podcast. It goes a long way in helping others find the show and gain valuable information that will help them succeed in their Bitcoin mining journey. I appreciate everybody, and we'll see you next time.